Let's see if anybody pops in this time. Got nobody in here yet. Don't leave me hanging, y'all. Nobody's watching their notifications right now, are they? They're probably watching videos. It's 2:17. Boy, that phone call did not last very long. Where is everybody? I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Isn't that something? Whenever you have a scheduled phone call with somebody, they're supposed to call you at a certain time, and they're not even punctual. The guy was a minute late calling me. Got one somebody in here and one thumbs up. Come on, y'all. Where is everybody? I want to talk to you guys about this phone conversation I just had, this little over the phone interview that I just had, if you want to call it that. Man, this guy was not very professional. Where are you guys at? Come on, everybody. Pile on in here. Man, I thought it was one company calling me because they advertised it under a certain name. Hey, Susie Jacobson. They advertised the job under one name, and it's in a town nearby, right? But apparently, it's kind of like a corporate parent company bought the place, and so this other company actually owns them or whatever. And basically, I found out where the place was finally, because I guess I could just say the name of it is Lando Lakes, is what they said it was. But it's actually a place where one of my buddies works, and he hates his job. He stacks like dog food, feed products on pallets at this place, and the job listing was for a local job, be home every night. And with this phone conversation, I found out that I would not be home every night, that I would be home some nights during the week, and I would have weekends off. And I said, no, I'm not living in a semi truck anymore. I'm not doing that. I'm not spending my afternoons when I'm off work in a semi truck or in a motel. I'm not doing that. I've done made my mind up. I've done spent 21 years doing that sort of thing. I'm not doing it anymore. And I said, I am only willing to do local stuff where I'm home every night. And that's it, final. I'm not taking a job that is anything different. And so he kind of hem-hawed around a little bit, and was like, well, I do have a local job there. I said, well, that's what you guys listed it for, but you're now telling me that it's only, you still have to go out of town. So there will be nights where you have to, stay in a motel or in the, because sometimes you'll be driving a day cab, and sometimes you will be, out of town overnight. And I said, nope, not doing it, because I know how that works out. I've worked for too many companies that do that sort of thing. Then we got to talking about salary. Oh my gosh. He was more interested in wanting to know my qualifications and stuff, my MVR, motor vehicle record, and all this stuff. And man, we only got two peoples in here. Everybody must be busy watching other videos or something right now, because I know everyone's on YouTube right now. Everybody's leaving me hanging, except for Susie Jacobson. She's in here. Got three people in here. There's a Caucasian Sasquatch. He said, I'm here now. Awesome. Man, I was hoping to get a lot more people to hop back on here after that first live. Susie said, thanks, okay, or that's okay, I'm listening. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for all the people that want to know how the interview went. It didn't go so great. When he found out how much money I would need to make, he's like, yeah, there's no way we could afford that. And I just threw a ballpark figure out there, like what a typical truck driver would make. I said anywhere from $70,000 to $90,000 a year is what I would be expecting. A ballpark to get around that. I don't have to necessarily hit 75,000 a year because honestly, I don't even want to work that hard. I don't want to be at work all the time. I don't want to be over the road and that sort of thing. Um, I could go work at Walmart and start off at about 90,000 a year, and I would be home most most nights and weekends. Right, is like a dedicated deal with Walmart. I could easily go start at 90,000 working for them. There's Don Lee said, "You're back. I'm back." um, oh, Caucasian Sasquatch said I was here earlier, but it's very stormy here. It's kind of windy here. Um, but yeah, it didn't go over so good. Um, he wanted to know like my qualifications and everything. I said, well, if it's got anything to do with trucking, I know how to do it. I know how to work on them. I know how to rebuild them. I know how to deal with brokers. I know how to get loads and everything. I know everything about the legal side of trucking because I own my own trucking company. I know how to do every aspect of it. If it's working on them, getting it towed. I've towed them before, with a tow truck before. I've done that. I've built trucks. I've stretched trucks, welded on the frames and built them into dump trucks, or, take an old truck and stretch it, stretch the frame, tear it all apart, stretch the frame and make a dump truck, or like a roll-off truck or whatever. I've done, route stuff like trash truck, dump truck, in dump, RGN, the heavy haul stuff. Pretty much anything that's ever been hauled, I've probably done it. And that didn't really seem to affect him at all. But he said, well, do you got any questions for me? I said, well, first off, where's this place at? And he's like, well, hang on. He didn't even know the answer to that. I'm like, so at first I'm thinking, I thought I was dealing with a local guy, right? And I'm like, this guy don't even know where he freaking works, where he goes to work every day. That's my initial thought, right? But then he goes, oh, well, it's actually this other place that we're hiring for. I'm like, this is so messed up. That is how the workplace has gotten nowadays. Like, the people in charge of doing the hiring don't even know the answers to the questions. Simple questions. I was like, man, maybe I should be doing his job. But it was kind of weird whenever the phone call come in, it said Minnesota or something. I was like, what? It should be a freaking Missouri number. I don't know that I want to work for a company like that. Yeah, that sounded like a damn joke. Sounded like a freaking joke to me. And then when he asked me, like, what kind of salary would you be expecting? I was like, well, 75 to 90,000, I'd probably be good with somewhere in there, right? Depends on how much, like, am I doing full time, or like, what am I doing here? This other company that I used to work for, they basically they offer pretty decent wages. It says 20 to 25 bucks an hour, and it's basically an office job, right? Sit there and answer a phone day or night, basically, whenever a driver calls and has an issue. They do have, I know at that company, they do have like people who take like overnight shifts on call, basically, where you could be at home and you'd be on call, right? That company, that's one thing that makes them so great, is people who work there, they take their job very serious. And it don't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, if you're out there on the road and you're in a truck, there's somebody at home ready to answer that phone. They might be asleep, but you call, they answer, right away. Every time I've ever had an issue and I needed a tow truck or whatever, tire repair, flat repair, or something, I'm on the side of the road, they answered that phone. If I needed EFS check, or whatever, to pay a lumper at 3 o'clock in the morning, there was someone there answering that phone boom, just like that. That is one thing that really made that company great. And so talking to this guy at Lando Lakes, which is actually, he's hiring for a place that they hired, and I used to deliver there back when I had my own trucking company pulling a hopper bottom. I used to deliver to this place. And I was like, I know too much about that company. I already know I don't want to work for them. Their equipment is not the greatest. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not the greatest either. A lot of day cabs, and 21 years of experience tells you you get in a day cab, eventually you're going to be sleeping across the seats in that truck because you're going to be broke down somewhere. Something's going to happen. There's going to be the place that you're delivering to had a breakdown, and so you're stuck there and you don't have a bed in a little sleeper or something behind you. I was like, I already know. I already know. I've been there 100 times and I know exactly what that ends up being, and it sucks. I don't want that. Uh, this other company I used to work for, yes, they have day cabs, but those day cabs, very rarely would you ever get stuck in that thing. This guy has brand new trucks. Okay, he does not have junk. He has brand new equipment. It's a great company to work for, um, and I think I better hold out for that. I whenever he said, "Yeah, we can't even come close to what you're wanting," I was just like, "Nope, no." I asked him. I said, "Well, how much are you thinking?" And he's like, "Well, for the local job, it would be 35 to 40,000 a year." I'm like, "And how many hours a week is that?" He's like, "Well, it's like 60 to 80 hours a week." I'm like, "No, heck no, not doing that." It's raining like a cow peeing on a flat rock right now, lightning and stuff. Where the heck are you? You down in Texas or something? I, when I got up this morning, I looked at the clouds and it looked like all the cloudy stuff was down south. But I haven't looked at the radar or nothing. But, if it's got wheels, you can haul it. Hey, if it's got wheels or tracks, or even if it won't roll, I've hauled it. I've loaded up a D9 dozer before that wouldn't start up and run. We had to pull it on. Stay safe. JB Hunt wants you. Oh, yes, JB Hunt wants you. I messed up years ago in letting them know my phone number, my email, and all that kind of stuff. And I still get stuff from JB Hunt. JB Hunt, like, they're relentless. They are trying to get me so bad. If you, especially nowadays, if you got any kind of experience, even people who are interested in learning how to become a truck driver, JB Hunt tries to get them. Swift, I think Swift is probably worse than JB Hunt right now, but there's no way I would ever go to work for Swift. They couldn't pay me enough. Now, Schneider National, they're actually a pretty decent company, and I made probably some of the best money I ever made trucking was at Schneider when I first started trucking. They paid me to go through school, done like skid pad training, all that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, I actually went through good training. Nowadays, the driver training kind of sucks. Tim Szysminski said, "LOL, Schneider is a good one." They are a pretty decent company. If you don't mind working for that kind of company. My problem is I've learned some bad habits and stuff throughout the years, and nowadays with like e-logs and all that BS, I'm not even wanting to mess with it. So basically, I don't want to go over 11 hours a day because I think at 12 or 14, I can't remember which, but I want to say if you go over 12 hours or something, you have to fill out a logbook. That's why I told him, I said, no, I only want to do local. Wow, did you give him Ed's phone number? Heck no. I already know someone who works for that place. He's not a driver. He stacks the bags of feed at that place. Um, yeah, Ed lives too far away to work for them anyway. Ed would need to work for somebody, close by over there where he's at. There's actually a company, but it's all the way in Springfield. Associated Grocers, I think is what it's called. I've delivered there a bunch. But if he was to get like a yard dog uh, job at that place, it'd be, I would imagine they pay pretty good. Um, he could work there as a lumper or a forklift operator. I mean, around Springfield and Branson, there's a ton of stuff, but the problem is Springfield is, I think, over an hour and a half or so away from him. So he'd want something a lot closer. Do you have tanker endorsement? Yeah, I've got tanker and hazmat, so I have it. It's called an X endorsement when you have both of those. So I could actually haul chemical. Um, I can do anything, pretty much, except for doubles. I'd have to get my doubles endorsement, but I have no desire to ever pull doubles. It's just too much of a pain in the butt. Um, and those guys make good money, but that's not the kind of job I want. I'm actually trying to get out of the truck and more into the the office stuff, but not just office. I don't want to. I don't want to be like a dispatcher or what they call now is a driver manager. I don't want to do that. It's just, yeah, I'm not that much of a people person. I was just thinking about the long hours Ed worked at that one job. Yeah, that one dude was a hole. I drove by that place where he used to work at. It was on one of my videos, and I almost put it up there like, this is the place that, arrow pointing at it. This is the guy that Ed used to work for, that a-hole that was, oh. He told me about what the guy did when the day he quit that job. I was like, dude, had he said that to me, I would have freaking knocked his teeth out, to be honest with you. Ed, I commend you. If you watch this video, I commend you for not knocking that guy's teeth out. Because as cold as it was, and Ed has I guess bad circulation in his hands and feet or something. People have that problem, and I've been a crew leader before, and I've had people on my crew that had very similar issues. I'd be out there in the freezing cold, minus 40-degree wind chill, and I'd be working, and the guys are like, "No, I'm going back to the truck warming up," and I'm like, "Okay, fine," but I led by example. I was out there working even though they were out, in the vehicle warming up or whatever. And when they came out there and would get back after it, they were working 10 times harder because I didn't bother them. But I still led by example, like, hey, I'm out here doing it. And they didn't want to stay in there very long because they seen me out there still getting it. How about FedEx or UPS? I don't know. A buddy of mine drives for FedEx, and he is home every night, and he makes pretty decent money. I don't know what he makes an hour, but I would need to probably talk with him, find out more about it. The guy that Brew calls, that makes those game calls and stuff, he drives for FedEx. That's how I met him. So yeah, I mean, I would consider something like that, but honestly, I'm really hopeful that this other company calls me. Otherwise, I may just actually have to call the owner of the company. I still got his phone number, so I can call him up, be like, "Hey, Scott, this is Dave." Because when I left there, he's like, "Hey, if you ever want to come back, give me a call." But I didn't call him. I just filled out the Indeed thing, trying to do it like anybody else would. Instead of being like, "Oh, I got the inside information, I'm just going to go straight up to to the top man." I don't like to do that. I don't know if my chat just quit or what, but I haven't got any new messages. Y'all slacking a little bit. Come on, talk to me. This kind of goes both ways. I got to feed off you guys. Come on, guys, you got to work. do this live for me. Uh, yeah, FedEx or UPS. I don't know about UPS. I've met a lot of guys that work for UPS, and they don't seem real happy with their job. So I don't know. I do know that the guy at Sam Brewster, him working for FedEx, I know he likes his job. Caucasian Sasquatch said, I know nothing about trucking, never liked driving in general, so it seemed logical. uh, that's why I have guests. I don't know much about trucking. I used to have a lot of people in here that knew a lot about trucking. That, man, like everyone was a ex truck driver or something. JB Conway, we talked forever. One night she called. Uh, we were talking, and she used to drive a truck, and I guess uh, her late husband was a truck driver, and yeah, we just sit there and talk forever. She actually used to drive for a company or two different companies that I worked for, CFI and Schneider, and she even agreed with me that Schneider, like they made some of the best money at Schneider. I was like, yeah, me and my brother, we drove team, and we were like that, the A team basically. Like when there was a load that was already late and it needed to be there yesterday, they called us. They're like, hey, can you go pick up this load? And we would like relay with another driver or something, pick up a load and get it there. Susie said, I know I love riding in my friend's dad's semi. LOL. This school bus is kind of like a semi. It's more medium duty than actual like heavy duty. It don't have quite the power that most semi trucks have that I've drove. Well, I wish this chat would scroll for me instead of me having to scroll it. Man, usually I'm behind on the chat. I'm actually staying caught up today. If I have trucking questions, I ask at Road and Tow Show. Pretty sure I came for the bus. You only came here for the bus build? Man, I'm going to end up disappointing you once the bus build's done, ain't I? Are you here just for the bus build, or, the like bus life? That's another thing I need to find out from y'all. Like, what are you really interested in? Like, Caucasian Sasquatch came here for the bus. I think a lot of you guys probably come over here to watch like my woodworking and stuff like that I've done for a while. Arizona Highland Homestead said, howdy, Susie. So did they give you a decent offer? He was shooting around the 30, I think 35 or 40,000 or something like that, I think he said. And I was just like, no. Because, normally a trucking company, especially over the road trucking, they say, oh, you can make $80,000 a year here. Well, typically they say you could make 80,000. You're probably only going to make maybe 60,000, right? So yeah, basically he's just like, yeah, we can't even come close to what you're wanting. I'm just like, okay, bye. Like, you're wasting my time, dude. Wasting my time. Susie said, I like watching you. Susie just likes watching whatever the heck I put on there, right? Well, I found you 4 days ago. I hunt channels doing unique content to host on my show. Don't be stealing my content. I don't know what you're talking about. To host on your show. Do you have a show, Caucasian Sasquatch? So I look for channels that are live and doing mostly anything. Okay. I don't have a whole lot of interest in like going on other people's shows or whatever, unless I've known them like for a while. Basically, in this YouTube community that I'm kind of part of. I don't necessarily like going on other people's shows or channels or whatever to try and better myself or anything. I like to, use what little influence I have to help out other channels. And that's why I kind of stick with this YouTube community that I'm part of, and I help out people in the community just to help them out type of thing. Um, and then like when we do lives together, there is an element of, like helping them out a little bit by being on their channel or whatever. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Same thing happened when I applied to the county for IT. Um, I would have taken 10 to 15 an hour uh, hit to work for them. Yeah, I guess that's just to work for them, just to work for the county. Yeah, I present channels for my audience and focus only on YouTube content. And we have a guy in our community that kind of does that, but he doesn't show all their content. Like he won't show a whole video. Like he'll Tim at Ridge Life, he does his watch and grow. I can't remember if it's Wednesday or Thursday night, whatever it is. Um, I can never remember stuff like that. But he does stuff like that, and he'll show some of their video or whatever, and kind of put them out there to help them out and everything. At the same time, it helps him out too. Let's see. That would have been a big hit. Oh. It would have been 10 to 15 less per hour than what I'm making now. Sorry for the confusion. It's all YouTube content if you think about it. Caucasian Sasquatch said, Dawn is correct. Huh. Yeah, I don't know exactly what you mean. Like you just show their videos or something. I mean, surely you're not showing all of their video or something. Because I mean, what's going to entice anyone to go watch the video or watch the rest of it? You got to have a teaser element to it, I guess. But I don't know. I haven't seen your channel. Arizona Highland Homestead. David, on your channel, I like watching raw logs milled, than watching the woodworking done with the milled wood. I do a lot of that. I mean, like right now, I'm using a lot of the wood that I've milled over the years to build out this bus. I mean, other than the plywood, all the wood I'm using in this is wood that I've milled. I don't go buy wood. Let's see, I found some of the most interesting channels from cop watchers to Sasquatch hunters and paranormal channels. Yeah, I watch stuff like that every now and then, but not very much. So what's cop watchers? Is that just people that go around filming cops or something, um, or is that kind of like what's that one guy's channel? Patty Mayo, I think is his name. That guy, just disturbing. I watched some of his content before, and I was like, it's kind of interesting. The more I watched it, I was like, this is so fake. Completely made up. I mean, that guy literally hires people to, play roles, or, it's kind of a role playing deal. It's literally just like Hollywood type stuff. It's so unreal. It's made up. I have a functional format. We basically discuss whatever the guest likes while playing bits of muted content. Pafford Homestead. said, "What's up, David? How you doing today?" Well, I guess I'm doing all right. Um, had a not video, a phone interview today at 2. It didn't last very long. Didn't work out. Don Lee said Patty Mayo is a real piece of work. It took me, I don't know, probably 30 or 40 videos before I was just like looking at it going, this is a joke. And I got more interested in vlog style channels and stuff, a lot of Homestead channels and stuff. People like just showing real life, whatever they're doing day to day type of stuff. A lot of people are interested in other people's, their life, I guess. A lot of times because, maybe they're unable to go out and live that kind of life, so they kind of live through YouTubers or whatnot. Pretty interesting. Cop watching is filming an officer in the course of duties. Auditing is conducted at public um, is conducted at public buildings, not Patty Mayo. Okay, so kind of talking about the auditing, like what is that? Cop auditing or something. I've seen some stuff like that, and I'm just like, you know, a lot of that I don't like watching at all. As a matter of fact, I think it's garbage because I back the police 100%. Now, it may be every bit my right. If I'm walking down the road and, you know, I'm 100% legal to carry open a firearm on my side, and a cop comes up to me and asks me for my ID, guess what? I'm going to freaking get my ID out and I'm going to show the guy. I'm not going to be a douchebag and be like, my rights say that you can't do it. I see that crap so much and it's just annoying. So, I mean, hopefully it's not stuff like that. I just can't stand watching that crap. Just harassing the police. I mean, yeah, sometimes the police are overstepping their bounds. And some of that stuff is good because people learn their rights and everything. But at the same time, yeah, I just, there's, I know a lot of people watch that stuff, but it's not stuff I like to watch. Tonley said, there's that one little punk who goes to public buildings and flaunts his constitutional rights. Yeah, I know there's several of them. I can't even think of their names. What's up, Desiree Sampier? How you doing? She said, hi, David and all. Desiree's in the house. Desiree Sampier. Not Des the hobo travel nurse. She was in here the other day, which was cool. Paffer says, right, Dawn? I like Dawn Lee. She's down to earth. I'm pretty sure I'd be interested in watching her channel if she had one. Desiree St. Pierre says, doing awesome, thank you. Dawn Lee said, hi, Desiree. Or Desiree. I think she said she pronounces her name Desiree. Am I right? I think I remember you emailing me or sending me a message one time that you said is pronounced Desiree. Desiree said, no. Is it Desiree? Waiting. Yes. So it's Desiree, not Desiree. Boy, wouldn't that go good? Everyone says Desiree is their favorite snowflake. And then you got the salty cracker that's always like, Ree! Desiree. Desiree. Okay, I got it. Don't mean to pick on you too much. I do have a channel, but I haven't posted in years. I looked for your channel, but I didn't see it. Correct, there is an accent on the second to last E. Hmm. Pafford's laughing. I got someone to laugh. It's all good. David made me laugh. I made two someone's laugh. There we go. Well, I feel successful now. uh, just cannot put it on my name. Huh. I'm not a cop watcher. I host YouTubers. That's all we talk about. Uh, we talk about what started you in YouTube. I've also hosted diet channels, art channels, and true crime. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know that I really. That's probably why I haven't found your channel, because I don't watch much of that, other than like Tim, Ridge Life, and every now and then on Sunday, I pop in on MT Homestead. They do a Sunday live shout outs, I think it's called. Every now and then when I'm not feeling like doing anything on Sunday, I'll pop in there and watch that. But that's not like really what their channel's known for. But like what got me started in YouTube, I can't really talk about on lives because it gets it demonetized. So I started in YouTube basically. I did a lot of the same stuff like what Demolition Ranch does. As you know, they're not monetized on a lot of their videos. I really don't know, but I know at one point they weren't. But I think he makes enough money in other areas and stuff that he's able to keep going with that. My goal whenever I started YouTube was just to put videos out there to educate people on some of the things I know or whatever. And it had to do with pew pews, like man, yeah, I can't really talk about it. You know, running the press that makes the things that go in pew pews. If I say too many keywords, like this video will get demonetized, and I get enough of my videos demonetized for using free copy or copyright free music. Good old YouTube for you. What's that? So did you get the job? No. You missed out on like the first part of the video, Elizabeth. Sorry, but no, I didn't. Basically, he just said that they couldn't even come close to the salary that I would expect, and I was like, well, I'm not even going to come down off of that. Basically, they're only wanting to pay like between $15 to $20 an hour, and I would need between 20 and 25 at least, just to start. Otherwise, I mean, I will just hold out for a different job. Pafford said, I know what you're talking about. He's picking up what I'm throwing down. I like the characters. I don't know what the characters is. Is that a channel? Elizabeth Rojas said, yeah, sorry to hear that. I'm not. It was supposed to be Land O'Lakes. But apparently Land O'Lakes bought out another company. I'm trying to think of the name of that company, but I can't think of it right offhand. Oh, it's NutriBlend. NutriBlend is actually the company here locally that's doing the hiring. I actually have a buddy that works for them, and he stacks the food feed bags on pallets, palletizes, kind of like what Ed's doing at his job. But Ed's job is probably a little bit dirtier. And the other thing is, I've talked to guys who drove for that company, and I know that I don't want to drive for them. Simple as that. So I was just, I was unwilling to even budge or ask them, like, really, try to get down to the nitty gritty on, what they would pay per hour or whatever. And it was more of a salary thing. And I know, like, not to get into a salary thing like that with a company like that, because they're like, oh, we pay you this much and you got to work at least this many hours a week. And that's just the beginning of where all the hell starts. And I've I've known enough drivers that drove for that company that I know I don't want to drive for them. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, the pew pews, loading stuff and everything. Not monetized, not interested in monetization. I just like the content, and I've hosted a few channels too. Cool. Matt Carricker. Oh, Matt Carricker is Demolition Ranch and Off the Ranch. I knew his name was Matt. I just didn't remember, or like, I guess I knew it was Carricker, but I don't pay attention to that. Um, Dr. Lee Carricker is the dad, and he's a veterinarian. Well, Matt's a vet too. At least he was. I don't know if he is anymore. I guess he would still be doctor, veterinarian, whatever. Um, yeah, I've been watching a little bit more Demolition Ranch here lately. I've been seeing some videos come out on that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't watch his channel real closely. Um, oh, the sister is too. Yeah, and I guess like YouTube for him basically just started off as like a side deal, something he was having fun doing. I remember like I was there like in the old days whenever it was, putting dimes in a 12 gauge shell and stuff like that, or sewing needles or something in a shotgun. Uh, that was the kind of stuff I used to do. I had videos out there like the groin protector, the bulletproof or whatever, the groin protector, like shooting that. And crazy enough, like you could shoot that with a 357 or a 45 and it won't go through it. But you shoot that with a little bitty 22 long rifle, and it goes right through it. um, Sandra Quintana said, "Hi, Mr. Hoods. Love the cabinet build. I wish it was built. Um, it's kind of built. I got the sink is now plumbed out to the ground now, so that's really exciting. Over here, I'll show you guys what I got in the bathtub. I got a little something going on in the bathtub. Let me flip you around here. That's all those little clips that came off from underneath the bus. I washed those today. Let's see. I don't want to hit the wrong button. Just flip you guys around. Afraid I almost hit the X and exited out of here. I gotta watch what buttons I hit. Boy, it's bright outside. Look at that. Whew. It's just washing out the picture. It was the younger brother who got them all doing YouTube. He posted a video about a deer and a dog playing, and it went viral. Isn't that crazy? I just did a video, what was it, last week or this, just here the other day. I did a video. Shoot, I can't even remember what it was. But it done really good. In the first 24 hours, it had over 2,000 views. I was like, for my channel, that's actually pretty decent. I mean, 300 or 400 to 500 views in the first day is pretty typical, I think, for my channel. Usually 200 or 300 views, right? Nothing terribly big. But then I did the video on the countertop, finishing it and everything. And with the thumbnail, like kind of showing the finished product and everything, I thought, that video should have done a lot better than that. So now I'm actually thinking about not showing anybody anything until I do a video on it and I get all the views, because everyone has seen that countertop. They've seen pictures of it. I mean, you guys, I don't think y'all have even seen the picture of what it actually looks like now. So I'm starting to think maybe I'll only show you guys on the lives. like little, like the behind the scenes sneak peeks and stuff. Because when I put pictures out there on Instagram that shows the behind the scenes stuff, my the views on my videos goes way down. I'm like, and I was at first I was kind of against that, you know, like the Crockers do that on a lot of their channels and stuff. Uh, they don't show really anything on Facebook, and I don't know that Jason really posts anything on Instagram, or even Jared for that matter. I don't think Jared's posted on Instagram for a while. So maybe they figured out pretty quick if they show things behind the scenes, it hurts their channel. And, you know, I don't know about them, but I'm not making a darn thing off of Instagram or Facebook. And, I am doing this to try and make money, right? My dream job would be to be making money off of YouTube. Did I ever think that I would ever be monetized and make anything off YouTube? No. When I first started YouTube, it was just a fun thing. I still do it because it's fun, because technically I don't make any money off YouTube. Yes, YouTube pays me, right? But I'm not making money off of it. In order to make money, you actually have to turn a profit, right? And right now I am so far in the hole, there's no way I could probably ever make money. Desiree Sampier says, keep them guessing, David. Keep y'all guessing. Yeah, I mean, there for the longest time, like a lot of people didn't follow me on Instagram and all that stuff. They only just watched my YouTube videos, and so they done pretty good. But then it seemed like the more that I posted stuff on Instagram, or the more I talked about Instagram and me posting pictures of whatever I'm doing, like more up to date. I mean, because a lot of times, like, well, the countertop has been done for a couple of weeks now, and I just now got the video edited and put out there, right? And then tomorrow I've got a video on what we talked about in the live earlier with the black walnut table, or tabletop, and what I did with that. So I'm starting to learn a little bit from the Crockers. You know, there's a lot of little subtleties, little things that are, is pretty obvious, right? It's right out there in front of you, but it's things like, if you want to do a YouTube channel, it's stuff that you should probably learn. Things that I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it different than them or something, right? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should follow their lead a little closer. It'd probably help out. Because, I mean, right now I'm not making enough money on YouTube. I lost my one and only, what is it called, member of the channel. I don't know exactly what happened with that or whatever, but so I don't have any members. That doesn't mean go and become a member, because I'm actually going to go and change that. And I was holding off on that because if I was to change it, I would have lost my one and only member. It would have, by default would have taken that away, and I would have had no members. And so I didn't mess with it. And so now that I don't have any members, I'm going to go in, I'm going to change it, I'm going to reprice it. I'm going to drop the price way down so that hopefully I get some members. And I'm going to start trying to learn how to do the little like emoji things like Tim does at Ridge Life and a few other people. So you guys have, little emojis or whatever whatever it's called beside your name. Sandra said, Mr. Hood, will you be building shelves that will hold your seasoning and plates and mugs? Yes, definitely. Above the sink, I plan on building a shelf. There'll actually be a drying rack integrated into that. So like plates and stuff. Like basically the dishes will all have their place above the sink. You don't need, especially by yourself, you don't need a whole lot of dishes. So I plan on building a shelf like up here above the sink, which, I mean, the sink's not behind me, it's over here. But so yeah, there'll be some shelves and stuff up on the walls for stuff like that. And it's probably going to be open shelves. I don't really want to be putting doors on everything. That's just more stuff to fail on down the road. Rattling down the road, screws like to work their way out of wood. That is what a lot of Europeans do. A plate, a cup, a plate and cup rack that drains over the sink. I did not know that. But I thought it was just my idea. What the heck? You mean somebody has already come up with that idea way before me? Me. Desert laughing out loud. Yes. The Europeans been around for a good while. I worked with a guy that came from the UK, and when America was just starting to put the APUs on the side of semi trucks, a little pony motor that runs the heat and air and keeps the battery charged and all that kind of stuff. They just started doing that stuff here in America, and all the truck drivers here in America is like, hey, this is the next greatest thing, blah blah blah. It's all new technology, whatever. Well, it was new to us, but this guy that came over from the UK is like, we've been doing that for a long time. I was like, really? You guys had little pony motors on the side of your trucks over here? He's like, yeah, for probably the last 20 years. I'm like, interesting. Yeah, doors will only add weight to the bus. Yeah, and most of the wood I have is oak, so yeah, that stuff is heavy. Um, and one thing that I don't suspect that a lot of people will say much about is this the tabletop right there, that oak tabletop. That thing is heavy. Everybody was commenting about this bathtub being heavy, but I'm pretty sure that walnut slab there is almost as heavy as that bathtub. It was hard for me to carry, and I can carry that bathtub. It's not that heavy, uh, and that tabletop is freaking heavy. It's I would say the bathtub is more awkward to carry than the tabletop, but I'm pretty sure that tabletop is real close to the just as heavy as that uh, the tub. I'll be back. Gotta walk my moose. For some reason, I think you're pulling my leg. You got a moose? Unless you're somebody else. When I first seen Caucasian Sasquatch, I was like, I think I know who that is. Um, I was thinking it was like that's the thing. Like with YouTube and Facebook and all this social media stuff, you honestly don't know who you're talking to. You might think you know who you're talking to, and you don't know. I mean, with the stuff that I've seen since I've really kind of got into the YouTube and everything, is I've had other channels, way bigger channels, pop up in my lives, right? But not as who they are. They will come in as another channel, a different name, right? A lot of times because they don't want to deal with people being like, oh hey, so and so, from this channel, like they get too much recognition. They don't really like that, so they kind of go incognito as a different channel. I've done it before, where I go in and support other channels. But if I go in there as David Hood or Hood's Custom Shop or something like that, people recognize who it is. And one thing I noticed is like on Jared's live the other day, I went in there as Hood's Custom Shop, and yeah, I got a bunch of, everyone's like, hey Dave, and all this and that. And then I came in as my other channel, the Ozark Life Off Grid, and there was only a few people that I think may have said hi to me. And I was like, oh, this is cool because like some people actually know who I am, but they're not like, hey, because sometimes whenever you're dealing with other channels, they're like, oh, I'm going to say hi to this bigger channel. Like, it's kind of like a recognition thing or something. Yeah. It's not that much fun. My Mastiff, Mussolini, 120-pound Mastiff. I had a friend back in the day that her parents actually I can't remember what it was. Some kind of mastiff, huge, huge freaking dog. I was like, oh, so mastiff means massive, or they want to eavesdrop. Eavesdrop. Oh, you mean lurk? I do some lurking, um, but usually, like I'll use like the Hillbilly Woodsman or something to go into like backwoods mindset, his channel, just to like try to make his live. I try to make it more interesting. I don't know if I do, or maybe make it funny, just to kind of play along with that character, basically. Uh, like when Maddie gets Buck in there or something, it can be pretty funny. I try to be funny and at the same time, like other people, or you can almost feel like they're sitting there going, "Really, really, you're still in my joy." I notice a lot of times when I chat in his videos, like other people leave or they don't chat anymore, and I was like, well, that kind of sucks. Mm. David, was that you and me throwing the numbers up there for the kids channel? Oh, yep. I was like, get it, Desiree, get it, because like I was sitting there refreshing, pulling down on my screen, refresh. I'd see it, like a couple different numbers will pop up, and I'd punch it in, and like usually I was right after Desiree Sampier, but my number was like one above or something, and I was like, get it, Desiree, like we're after it, At the same time as helping Jared's channel out too, but you know, uh, we watch YouTube. That channel, I looked at it this morning. They did a video on the response to, getting a bunch of subs. They're at 900 and something subs. I would imagine they're over 1,000 already. Uh, I was surprised that it stuck. MNC Family Homesteads in the house. What's up, Al and Trish? Uh, yeah, I get it. Nah, lol. I'm this, and I have a backup channel for peeping out channels. There you go. Uh, but yeah, I'll have to check out your channel, Caucasian Sasquatch. Um, I thought you was like first time I seen you here. I thought you was a bogus channel. I was like, yeah, I bet that's so and so. I'm not even going to say the name on my channel, but I thought you was like an undercover channel or something. I'll have to go check out your channel, see what it's all about. I watched. Oh, where'd it go? I watched their reaction video. I watched their reaction to their numbers. Yeah, I started watching. I didn't finish it. I commented, but I got busy doing stuff and didn't finish watching it. Desiree St. Pierre said, David, you now have a new sub to your other channel. Why, thank you, Desiree. Yeah, I got a few different channels. Most of them I don't use. I was just thinking of names for my new channel, the Ozark Life Off Grid. I don't know that I can really keep putting videos on that. I think I probably need to do more focused videos on it instead of like the behind the scenes updates and stuff. Because pretty much it would end up being like basically the same content or a precursor to what you're going to see on Hood's Custom Shop, and it's pulling away from my monetized channel. And I'd like to make as much as I can with YouTube to help fund the channel. That helps me, put more money into it. And having that second channel until it becomes monetized, there's not a whole lot of, reason, not reason, but there's not a whole lot making me want to put, videos out there on it. Trish is at work. I'm taking a break from chores. Them goats keeping you busy, Al? Check whatever you like. It's cool. Everyone thinks I'm a troll at first. No problem. I do sort of regret this name. Caucasian Sasquatch. Okay, first of all, it has a racism element to the Caucasian part, right? It kind of makes you go, you see that name and you raise your eyebrow at it. Okay, that is my initial thought when I first seen your channel pop up on here, right? Caucasian Sasquatch. And then I looked really close at your thumbnail and I was like, I mean, it's just a little odd. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just telling you how I see it. Uh, Desiree said, "You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Thank you." Uh, M&C said, "I'm about ugly as a troll." Well, why you cutting yourself down, Al? You always gotta be doing that. You starting to remind me of Ed. Ed's always like down on himself, cutting himself down and stuff. Oh, Al, he's like, "Oh, I'm getting old. I'm getting old." Whatever, Al. You're just getting started. You should do like Coffee with the Crockers and Shoot Dang channel. Well, that's exactly what that channel is, and that's where I got the idea from. I even said that, I think in my first video, that's where I got the idea from, to start up that channel. It's kind of like Coffee with the Crockers. Maybe, I think that's what I need to do. I need to go back and revisit that, and maybe just start doing a morning video, just something real quick where I get up. I was thinking this morning of actually doing a day in the life of Hood's Custom Shop or something, but put it on that channel. Basically, not necessarily probably talk to you guys, like talk to the camera, but just kind of show like my mornings here, or my day here in the bus, like whatever I'm doing. But I guess I can't really do the day. It would have to be kind of a shorter video. Just maybe I need to just do just like Coffee with the Crockers and maybe talk about the day before or something like that. That's hard to do because when you edit videos, you can be so far out and separated from, like the cabinet build. That was, I don't even know, like 2 weeks ago, I think. And I've done a million things since then. Today I was considering actually getting out there changing the fuel pump, but I just don't feel like it. My stomach is a little churning around, if you know what I mean. Not really feeling like bending over the engine today. But yeah, Coffee with the Crockers type thing. And they change it up a little bit on theirs. So I don't know. Caucasian Sasquatch said, "I'll host you, M&C." I haven't seen a video from M&C Family Homestead in a while. Don Lee said, "And I'm as short as a troll." Are you really? More talking there and chit chat and visits with other channels, and keep this one just for building. Yeah, that's the thing, is like this channel is not just building, and that's a problem with the algorithm. That's what really stunts the growth of my channel. It's because I do lives on here, just talk about whatever. Don't keep it too focused. This channel originally started off as David Hood. That was the name of my channel, was David Hood. Then it changed. I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure, I think I went straight to Hood's Custom Shop after naming it David Hood for a while. When I first started out, it was just David Hood, and that's all it was. I did reloading and stuff, pew pew stuff. Then YouTube said I couldn't do that and ever be monetized. They told me I had to delete my videos or they were going to delete them. And Demolition Ranch went through the same thing, but I think I don't know if he deleted them or if he just went through and made them all private. I just went through, I deleted and lost everything. I actually had a few subscribers. I lost a bunch of subscribers because the content changed. I lost a ton. And then at that point, I think I kind of gave up. I was like, I will never get monetized. I was this close. years and years ago. I was that close, and then they changed the rules. They said now you got to have 1,000 subs, and you got to. I think the next thing after that was you had to have 4,000 watch hours, and then it's this and this and it. They just kept raising the bar the closer you got, and it's like, why even try for something if all they're going to do is right when you're almost there, then they raise the bar up even higher and make it even harder. You're just putting free content out there for YouTube to make a killing off of. I see the both sides of that business transaction there. I don't necessarily like YouTube, the way their stance on things, but I honestly believe that YouTube is where everyone's at. If you go over to like Truth Social, stuff like that, which I haven't even went over to check out Truth Social yet because I have an Android phone. Apparently I can't get the app for it, and I don't want to use my laptop, to go check that out. And I think that's a bad thing on Trump's part. Is I don't know why Apple picked it up so quick. It just is kind of weird, and I don't really like Apple. I don't like their stance on things. I don't like their proprietary BS behind how their apps and everything work. It just I don't know. Especially ever since Steve Jobs was gone, I don't like the direction really that Apple's been going. So that was one thing that caused me to switch over to a Samsung or a Android phone. The main thing that caused me to switch over was because with the Apple phones, you could not put a SD card in and take it out. And that's a huge thing with doing YouTube is like this right here. Okay. Here's a camera I use, all right, to shoot video on. You take this out. That's got a little memory card in it, right, that I can pull out of that. I can just plug this in to my laptop, download and all that kind of stuff, put it on an external hard drive if I want, and all right. So then when I'm done editing that video, I can export it back to that. I can then take that micro SD card, put it in my phone, and upload from my phone, directly from my phone. That is way faster than trying to use your laptop and tethering it to your phone or whatever, or even using high-speed, broadband or whatever. Broadband, like doing it from the laptop is a huge file, I guess. It's just way faster through your phone. Let's see. No, just cementing 4x4 poles for the garden and goat pen. Well, are you filming that, Al? I wish you and Adam, I wish you guys would put more videos out. Like Adam used to be, he did lives all the time and stuff, which was really cool. The dude is super personable, but I don't see him no more. I thought he was going to get back after it. He put a few videos out, but he's not like really keeping with it. And I haven't seen anything from Al. Al said, "Oh, don't even do that. I'm 100% better looking than Ed." Oh, now you two's going to be arguing. Desiree said, "Link it to this channel for others to sub." Yeah, see, everyone's like always talking about these links and everything. I don't know how to physically link those two channels together. I mean, the algorithm doesn't necessarily pick up on that, other than they might suggest, like if they was to look at one of these videos on Hood's Custom Shop, then, people who are subscribed to Hood's Custom Shop are also subscribed to that channel, and that links those together. And so a lot of times you're going to see that pop up when you watch a video from Hood's Custom Shop. The suggested videos underneath of that would likely be, off-grid life, or Ozark life off-grid. See, I think I've got Ozark life, Ozark off-grid life, Ozark life off-grid. Like there's several. that I've created just so I could try to, have that name for my channel. And actually what it come down to was I could still remember the password for the email for Ozark Life Off Grid, and that's basically why I chose that one. Um, the rest of them, I was sitting there going, I can't even remember the password for the email. Al said I put a short out a few days ago. Did you? Well, see, that's another thing. When you don't put videos out for a while, it really hurts the algorithm. Like, my other channel, Ozark Life Off Grid, isn't being put out there because it's a tiny, tiny channel, right? It's pretty humbling when you get used to using like this channel here, Hood's Custom Shop. You put a video out on that, and bam, all of a sudden you got 20 views, and then you got 30 views, 100 views, 200 views, 3, 4, 500, and like some of them really, that one the other day, 2,000 views in 24 hours kind of blew me out of the water. I was like, hey, this is doing pretty good. But then I throw a video out. I could probably throw pretty much the same video out on my other channel, and it might get 10 or 15 views in like a week. All right. And probably never get any views after that for a good long time. And, and that was kind of a test thing. Just seeing that was like sort of a test thing, because Crazy Ed has said before, he's like, me and Dave, we did the same short. Like I literally had my camera set up right here. He had his camera over here, just a different angle. We shot basically the same YouTube short, but from a different angle. So it wasn't exactly the same. And mine done way better than his. And it simply comes down to a bigger channel. You got, I can't stand that, the bigger channel, but a channel with more subscribers, is probably going to get their short or whatever, their video is going to be thrown out there in front of more people than that channel that has less subscribers, right? The other thing is like your demographics, like who watches your channel. Do they even watch shorts? A lot of people don't. And that's one reason I really don't bother with YouTube shorts, is because the demographic or the age group of people who typically watch my channel aren't exactly the age group of people who watch shorts. I mean, some of them do. A lot of times it's probably just a dirty old man watching, those YouTube shorts of, girls flaunting their stuff, which seems to be the majority of those shorts anymore. They ain't wanting to watch a short on me sawmilling or something necessarily. So I think about that and I'm like, is there really any incentive for me to put a YouTube short out there? I've had people say, oh, YouTube shorts helps your channel get recognition. I have never, ever, not one time have I ever watched a YouTube short and went and subscribed to someone's channel because of a short that they put out. Not one time have I ever done that. So how many times does that happen out of 1,000,000 people? Maybe 1,000, maybe 250,000. I mean, 250,000 people out of 1,000,000, that's not very good odds. Caucasian Sasquatch. I'm just saying, I'm a big, hairy white guy, lives in a swamp. Caucasian Sasquatch said, I'll check it out, M&C. Oh, M&C dropped a link for Caucasian I can't even talk. Sasquatch. YouTube discouragement. Well, I'm here just to hang out with you and everyone else, no matter what you do. I'm not into the pew-pews, but I get it. Pew-pews is fun. It's fun. You can shoot a big old hole and stuff. I'm not big on like what pew-pews can do when they're used for bad things. But at the same time, like my view on that is, if we did not have them and some people do, then things could be very, very bad for everybody. And, so yeah, I fully support the fact that there's people that don't like them. I fully support the fact there's people that don't want to be around them, right? Because a lot of people, out there really don't know anything about them. It's just like a chainsaw. You know, I like chainsaws because what I can do with them, it is a tool, just like a pew pew is a tool, and that's pretty much how I treat them. I don't just go out and waste ammo. I don't do that, especially the price of the stuff now. But like, it's it's a tool, just like a chainsaw. You get it works way better than a hacksaw, just like a pew pew works way better than a hammer. You know, for the intended purposes, right? For hunting or protection or whatever. Um, Caucasian Sasquatch said, I use email to transfer shorts. Hmm. Yeah, you're talking like some IT stuff or something there. I don't know. I don't use email to transfer shorts. I mean, no, haven't been putting anything out or feeling like videoing lately. That sucks, Al. I mean, like, what are the people to do? People don't know how many goats you got now. I've heard that you had more goats or something. You probably have like other animals or something on the homestead nobody knows about. Or put it in your description box. The link to other channel. Yeah, my brother's been handling the stuff that goes in the description box, and I think when I put stuff in the description now, it messes it up. It overwrites like what he had put on there that automatically gets put on there. See, I'm not super tech savvy with that kind of stuff. I mess things up sometimes. Joy Bless Life, what's up? You guys seen any more fires up there in the mountains? I seen your video where you guys were driving, and then I think you were up behind some fire trucks or something, and I had other things to do. I couldn't watch it all. It's the most difficult part of Sasquatch shields, getting functional links in the right places. Yeah, I don't want to deal with like technical stuff like that. He passed it by. What did I pass by? Let's see. Desiree Semper at Sharon Delaney. Hi and no, he didn't. Sharon Delaney said, sorry I am late. Did you get a job? No, I didn't. Sure didn't. Honestly, they should be hiring me to do his job. Because the guy, like, it took him several minutes to figure out the location or the address of the place he was hiring me for. And then the crazy thing is the name of the company is different. As Lando Lakes had bought another company that around here it's known as NutriBlend. And so I was sitting there going, okay, where's Lando Lakes in Neosho, Missouri? I don't know where that's at. And I literally used to haul and deliver to that place. And it was not called Lando Lakes. So I, asked him, I was like, where's it at? First off, because the crazy thing was like the phone number that called me was from like Michigan or something, which really kind of threw me off. I was like, what kind of scam is this crap? Joy Bless Life said, YouTube Shorts does not really help me much with subs either. Not sure, ever gained a sub from a Shorts video, but it gets something out. Yeah, I for one, it is against everything in my being to hold my camera like this and shoot a video because it sucks. I like the landscape like this. I mean, if I'm going to take a picture and I want it long ways, I might take a picture like this or maybe put a cant to it or something like that. But why? I could do that in editing, right? If I wanted to. Um, but I mean, a short, you have to have it in that format, you know, up and down instead of landscape. There, I don't know. I've thumbed through shorts and stuff in the mornings and just kind of scroll through stuff and get a laugh out of something. I mean, so there's a little bit of entertainment value to that. And it has to be a really, really good short and make me just laugh my butt off for me to even click the heart or thumbs up on it. Otherwise, I'm just like scrolling through. And I imagine if that's what I'm doing, that's what 80% of everybody else out there is doing. I don't know. I mean, if you have those die-hard followers that, you know, they see your short, yes, they comment on your shorts. I got some of you guys that have commented on some of my shorts. Um, 19 thumbs up, 25 people watching. Thank you, Therese. Therese. I don't even know if I'm saying your name right. I want to call you Teresa, but it's Therese Shans. Caucasian Sasquatch said, well, I told jokes, in quotes. I don't know, they did well a bit. Cold Odin Seas, which depicts people getting hurt from TikTok, did well. That's the crazy thing is like some of the videos, I mean, you know clickbait, right? And I struggled with this on, I think it was the video I released this morning. And I've got, you know, pictures of the engine and stuff like that. And I did a little bit of clickbait on that video. And I imagine it probably done better than the video on the countertop. And the countertop video, I would have thought would have done a lot better. I would have thought, especially the time frame when I put the video out there, that I would have actually beat. It was right after Come On Homestead put his video out, and then I think it was an hour or two later, like everyone starts doing their lives. So I put it out there right after Come On Homestead's live, about 35, 40 minutes later, I think. And, you know, I knew his video was coming out. And that's why I timed my video to come out after his. Those are things you got to think about is you have this community, like you got to look at your demographic, like, okay, people that watch my channel also watch this channel. They watch this channel, this channel, this channel. When you know that, and when you can find a time slot to throw your video in, and you know that so-and-so is dropping their video at this time, if you put your video out at the same time they do, and like Come On Homestead, his channel is like the biggest thing on YouTube right now. He's blowing up. So would I be stupid enough to put my video out at the same time he put his out? No, I ain't doing that, because 9 times out of 10, people are actually going to click on his and not mine. And so then my video sits there for another 30, 40 minutes before you guys go back and click on mine, right? So, yeah, that's competition right there you don't want to mess with necessarily. Those are some things I learned about YouTube is you got to kind of, the more you know about like what people watch your channel and who else they watch, then it gives you a better idea like when you should drop your videos, because the idea is you want to get as many views as quickly as you can within that first hour or two. And if your video does really good in that first hour, then YouTube algorithm's going to pick it up and it's going to put it in front of more people. It's just how it is. And also the being consistent, like this video here, I could probably do a live at 10 a.m. every morning. That would be consistent. And this channel would actually grow from that. And you would see my subscribers start going up because people would get used to me going live every morning at 10 a.m. I've actually thought about that, but it's like, man, some days I just don't feel like doing a live. You know, like today, it is not a normal day for me to do a live. Every now and then I do. Um, but yeah, the consistency, a lot of times they won't even put a notification out there, even though you have notifications turned on to get all notifications. If you don't normally go live at that time for that day or whatever, they don't put that notification out there for everybody. Like last night, at home with Tama and Rhonda Howard, he did just kind of a random live, and I just happened to see it. I didn't get a notification for it. And I'm subscribed to their channel. I have all notifications turned on, and I just happened to see it, and I popped in there while I was sitting there cooking dinner. All right. And then I seen a lot of other people like Lila and everyone popping in saying, hey, I didn't even get a notification. That's the algorithm for you. You get out of your consistency, and it really screws with you. We had 3 different fires here in Smokies, and mostly contained now. Then there was a 4th fire in Maggie Valley, North Carolina, part of the Smokies. Not sure the details there. Are those like from like lightning or something starting them, or what? Tell your brother to put it in there for all of your videos. I'm not tech savvy either. My 30-year-old son built my computer and fixes my phone when I mess up. Yeah, my youngest brother, TJ, he's pretty tech savvy. He probably could have had a job in IT. He knows how to read and do all that C++ and all that kind of stuff, programming, or at least he used to. He built my first tower PC. Basically, I had a job in trucking. I made good money, and I wanted the latest, greatest, best computer I could possibly have, which was not that great now. This was back in like 2000, and I had money, right? I said, money's not an issue. Like, let's get everything we need to build a computer. He built a sweet computer. But nowadays, people would laugh at it. They'd be like, ah, that's nothing. But back then, it was super awesome. But he built that. It was pretty cool. Let's see. M&C said, is your engine a 444 or 466 in the bus or gasser? It's the 444 7.3 liter turbo diesel. Is it 7.3? Maybe it's 7.9. I think it's 7.3. It's the Ford Power Stroke with the Allison transmission. Funny part is, I started my channel to read pulp westerns. Really? That's why you started a channel, was just to read western? I don't understand what pulp westerns is. I mean, I used to watch westerns, like Butch Cassidy, all them. I can't remember what the westerns were called necessarily. I just watched them. I always felt like I was born like 100 years too late, that I would have been better off living back in the olden days. They don't know the cause yet. It's under investigation. A witness thinks Hatcher Mountain fire started from a cabin across from her, but we've been a 5 red fire risk lately. Yeah, this was built with less than $500. Just no disk drive. But I do have external. Oh, where'd it go? External one and SD card reader, since it does not have that either. I'll try to show you guys my laptop. I think 3 years ago, whenever I bought this laptop, I got it from Walmart. It was, I want to say 700 and something. Oh, I just unplugged it. There it is right there. It's a gaming laptop from Walmart. Wasn't like terribly expensive. I mean, 700 and some odd dollars, fairly expensive. but it's how I actually reinvested my tax return one year, or my portion of it anyway. So I got that so I could, get better at editing, because I was using Power Director on my phone. I was paying like basically a monthly bill for Power Director, so that's money that I was out every month. I think it was like 40 or $50 a month just for editing software on my phone to try and get better at editing and putting better videos out. And then finally I said, you know what? I got to find something different. And just the need to find something different, something that I could pay one time, never have to pay again. That's how I ended up. I'd done the research and I found Filmora 9. I paid it. It was, I want to say 80, $90. I don't know what it would be now. But I got that, put it on the laptop. It's been awesome. Oh, the other thing, let's see. This is what I didn't show you. I've got 3 external hard drives on the back end of it. That's a lot of footage on there. That would suck if it come up missing. That would suck bad. Man, we almost got 40 people in here. Can we hit 40? Can we hit 1,000 people in here? 1,000 viewers. Oh, there's 40. Look at that. We hit 40, y'all. That's a first in a while. Do like Jared Crocker. Man, I was watching his channel last night or the other night, whenever it was. I think it's Monday nights is when he goes live. Watching that. And, I mean, it's just like boom, 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 boom. Watching those numbers go up. And he's over 1,000 viewers live. I was like, dang. I wouldn't even know what to do if I had that many. I guess I'd be the same if it's just a number on the screen, right? I like Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns. Huh. I used to watch one show I liked watching back in the day when I was a kid was Fall Guy. I cannot remember that guy's name, but I used to watch Fall Guy. I thought he was the coolest thing ever. That old square body he used to drive. Sharon Delaney said, I too came across Tom Howard's live last night. He started several times, or he stated several times that no notification put out. He did it on a whim. Yeah, it's like today. The 2 lives I did today was just basically on a whim. I was like, because I had to sit around and wait for this guy to call me at 2, or whenever he was going to call me. He was actually late calling me. That was what was really kind of got on my nerves. If you're going to I'm going to get off on a little tangent here. If you're going to an interview, though, or your first day at a job, like the worst thing you can do is show up late, right? And this guy doing the interview was like a minute late calling me. I was just like, come on, dude, really? And maybe his time is off a little bit or something. I don't know. There's the school bus. It must be about 3:45. Oh, it's 3:50. They're a little bit late. I don't even remember what I was talking about now. I think our fires were over 3,700 acres. That's a pretty good size. Don Lee said, me too, David. I would have hung out in front of the saloons listening to ragtime piano music. Oh, this area. Typo. Old magazines printed Western short stories. Most are not in audiobook or copyright. And I figured it would be a good start. Then I told a joke. Totally awesome deal.
Dad?
Yeah.
Your bus is leaking?
It's leaking? Oh, turn off that water hose, would you?
Where is it?
The valve right there.
Huh?
Well, just pull that thing out of the side of the bus and turn it off. One way it'll shoot more water out, and the other way it'll shut it off.
Well, what do I turn?
All right, hang on just a second, guys. I got to turn the water off. I was filling up my water tank. yeah. There's no telling how many gallons of water's out there on the ground. I've been on this live all this time, and I started filling that tank just a little while after I did my other live. So my driveway's kind of flooded. Thankfully, when it overflows now, it just goes outside because I got that fill port installed in the bus. So that, yeah, I'm pretty sure I would have noticed that. If that was in here, I would have been flooded. Desiree says, thumbs up, folks. Monday, yes. Yeah, Monday was when Jared does his live. Monday afternoon. What is that? 7 o'clock, I think, is when he goes live. Me giving Jared shout outs on here like he needs it. I have to go and pick up school kids later. You must be like over towards the West Coast, because my daughter just got home from school. It's 3:54, unless maybe they have after school stuff. I don't know. Whoops, on the water. Yeah, luckily I don't have city water. I've got a well, so it's not a big deal. It'll just soak back down in the ground and go back down there so I can pump it up again, I guess. I guess Al took off. Don Lee said, bye, Al. He said, okay, back to work. Y'all take care. Talk to you later, Dave. Yeah, I was supposed to actually call Adam sometime this week, I think, or last week, whenever it was. He told me to call him and I never did. Yeah, but I've got to figure out my wiring. I need to get the couch designed. Okay, I've got 2 sheets of plywood, and I got to build my composting toilet with the plywood. I have to build a like pull out couch, or at least that's what I kind of intended to do with one of those sheets of plywood. I have to frame the wheel wells out with some of that plywood to make it flat, basically, to have usable floor space on top of them. So yeah, I got to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that. That's going to have to take some careful planning, and it still may not even, may not be able to stretch the plywood that far. I look at the price of plywood and I'm just like, holy cow. The problem is, like, plywood is lighter than oak. All right, I could easily use oak. I could just go out here and mill some up and have plenty of wood to use, but it's super heavy. Oak is just extremely heavy. That's one reason I'm not putting wood on the roof, the inside ceiling or whatever. I'm not putting wood up there because, I see everyone doing that, and that's a lot of weight. Even if you use pine, that's a lot of weight. This pine right here, okay, I see a lot of people in their bus, they use the 3/4 inch thick tongue and groove pine. If you was to weigh each one of those boards and then figure out how much weight you added to your bus, if you put you cover your whole roof of your bus or your ceiling of your bus with that tongue and groove, number one, you're raising your center of gravity. You're adding a ton of weight up there on top of your bus. I mean, I'm already going to be building a rooftop deck back on the back. I feel like that's kind of a necessity. I mean, that's something I don't want to do without. At some point, I think I want to actually have some where I can put some posts in or poles, so I can actually hang a hammock from it. I think that'd be super cool, just as a cool little hangout. Also, like this morning, I just decided to fly the drone. I didn't get really any good footage. I just decided to fly it and see what kind of footage I might get. Uh, Nothing real spectacular. I might use a little bit of it or something here or there later on down the road. But every now and then, when we have a cool foggy morning or something like that with some overcast clouds or whatnot, as the sun's coming up, I like to throw the drone up there and fly it. But I sit back here on my bed. I just put the drone out the emergency hatch on top of the bus, took it up and flew it for a while. Just kind of went around checking things out. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun having a drone, but it's a pretty big investment that you could actually lose it in an instant. Like the first time you fly a drone, you could lose the darn thing uh, just pretty quick. And I think when I bought mine, it was around $600, uh, which thanks to Simple Life Reclaim and them, paying me to come out there and mill for them, I was able to use some of that money from that to actually buy the drone, which helped me kind of up my game a little bit on intro stuff. It's basically as a flying camera, right? And so it's pretty cool. And even like a lot of you guys have said, it was really cool. Some of the drone footage. They do give folks that have them amazing shots depending where you live or traveling to. Huh? They do give folks that have them amazing shots. Huh? What? I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what you're talking about. Whoa, that is a lot of footage. Amazing footage and shots. Oh, I thought you were talking about the jibby jab shots. I was like, they give them what? Uh, you see Jason's videos and Simple Life. Desiree said, nope. You're confusing me, Desiree. Yeah, I watched Jason videos. Did Simple Life Reclaim? I don't. I haven't seen SLR's video that they put out today. Their drone shots. Yeah, I did an awesome drone video out there at the 41.36, and I mean, the bad thing is like when I watched some of their drone footage they did here not too long ago. I was like, that looks a lot like the same footage I did, but it wasn't. It wasn't the same. They flew their drone up. I don't think they fly their drone too awful much out there, but man, that area where they live is just phenomenal. Um, I mean, every time I flew my drone up, I flew my drone a bunch out there. You can ask them. Like in the mornings when I first get up, I'd be out there. Like I would get up like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd be out there with my DSLR set up on a tripod, and I was taking long exposure shots of the stars and stuff. And then when it would get daylight, you know, they weren't like up yet, or they were fixing breakfast or making coffee or whatever, and I'm out there flying the drone around and stuff. And I had this feeling as I'm sitting there flying and watching the camera. It was like the Jurassic Park feeling, like just the landscape and everything out there is just freaking crazy awesome looking. Let's see. Yeah, Tim from Ridge Life did a cool one as well. Yeah, I seen Tim's video on the drone and stuff. That is really cool. Yeah, I did quite a few videos with the drone. They do really good, for a little bit, and then they fall off. And sometimes I think about, taking some of that footage and re-upping it, putting it into intros and stuff. But at the same time, like for me, it gets old. So if it gets old for me, it kind of makes me feel like for those subscribers who've been around for a long time and they've seen that, they probably don't want to see the same thing over and over again. And so that pushes me to try and put new stuff out there. Every now and then, I guess I can probably take like some shots from old stuff, old footage and stuff, and put it together and make something new, which I do like to do from time to time. We got Simply Jan. What's up, Jan? I try to act excited and stuff, but that's just not me. I'm not the kind of person that's usually all, yay, we got Simply Jan in the house. No, that's not me. Simply Jan said, did you get a job? I don't know, Jan. You'll have to go back and watch the beginning of the video. No, I didn't get one, Jan. I know there's a lot of other people that's exactly what they would do. Be like, well, you're going to have to go check out the first part of the video. Make you go back and watch the beginning of this live. Nope, didn't get a job. They don't want to pay enough. People at McDonald's make more. So I guess I wasn't meant to drive a truck for them. Paul Honeyman said, my favorite snowflake. Yep. We got Joy Bless Live in here. Simply Jan Homestead. Shoot, I just call you. Oh, what? You just called me. What are you talking about? You're just going to call me? Oh, you would just call me instead of watching my live over. Golly, it's so windy. It was windy here earlier. I guess it still kind of is, but it's not super windy. I mean, if I was out there with the camera, it would probably be windy, but it's not as bad now as it was earlier. Like earlier, it was like shaking the bus and everything. Last night was pretty windy too. And this morning, I popped the one of those emergency escape hatches is right above my bed, and right where I can have my pillow. And I laid back down this morning, and I had opened up that hatch, and I was just laying there. I was like, man, that is so cool. Just looking up and seeing the blue sky and the clouds were actually moving by pretty quick. It was pretty cool. I actually took a few pictures while I was laying there. I was like, I should put this out there. I was like, maybe I'll save it for a thumbnail. I don't know. I take so many pictures and video of stuff and just a very, very small bit of pictures or video that I take ends up on the internet. I had joined something one time. I can't remember what it was called. It's some deal that you're supposed to be able to get paid for your photography, and it's a scam. Like, maybe some people make a little bit of money off their pictures that they put on there, but man, I uploaded so much stuff to it and never would I have probably ever got paid for it. And I take some pretty decent pictures. I mean, it's pretty hard to take a better picture than what I can do with my DSLR. And I was just like, you know what? There's no point in it. Like, why am I uploading to this? They're never going to pay me anything for my photos. I mean, the best thing that could probably come from that is a little recognition where someone wants to hire you to do photography work, but I'm not like a trained photographer. So, like, honestly, I don't feel like I could actually be hired as a photographer. It's just something I like doing in my spare time. It must have moved here because the wind is whipping. Yeah, it's whipping right now. I can see. Well, shoot, it's dead. like the branches, I can look out the window, I can see the branches kind of moving, but it's barely moving now. Desiree said, "Be right back." Paul, so how'd the job call go? Not so good. Yeah, I should have been the person. I should be taking his job, honestly. I kind of think I should call them up and say, "Hey, you need someone else to do your hiring because the guy that you got doing that job is not very good at his job." I mean, he asked me a simple question. He said, he says, "First off, do you have any questions for me concerning the job?" And I said, "Okay, well, first off, where's it located at?" It took him forever. He had to look it up. He's in a different state and didn't even know like what town he was hiring for. I was like, that's kind of important. You should know a little more about your own job. That's why I didn't say that to him. I was very nice to him. I just sat there and calmly waited forever. Like, why would you even want to work for a company like that their corporate headquarters is in a different state? They have no idea what the dealings with and everything is at a company or whatever. I don't want to work for a place like that. I want to work for a place where if I have an issue with something, I can get a hold of somebody and they know exactly where I'm at, what I'm talking about, or whatever. Uh, yeah. Simply Jan said, "That's messed up. That's messed up." Yeah, when he called it, I think it said Michigan or Minnesota or something like that is where the call was coming from, which was kind of, I was like, what? And the other thing was the company is Land O'Lakes, right? It was, that's who was wanting to hire me. That's who had contacted me. I didn't even send in a resume to them or anything. They just seen my resume on Indeed and they had contacted me. And so then I said, yeah, okay, I'd be interested in, knowing more about it. They called me at 2. That's what that was all about. And, he asked me a question. I had given him a simple question and it took him forever to answer that. And then he didn't even want to give any specifics on how much I would make an hour or year, like the pay. He's basically said, well, that's actually more up to the people there at the facility. And I thought, why am I even talking to this guy? This is just a go-between person. What's up with? I mean, if I wanted a job at NutriBlend, I probably would have just went there and put in my application there or my resume. But I don't want to work for that company. But I think what they did was they're trying to hire people through Land O'Lakes, and everyone around here is like, well, what's Land O'Lakes? Is that a new place? I mean, I know what Land O'Lakes is. I've hauled to them in other areas before. But around here, they're not known as Land O'Lakes. It's actually NutriBlend was bought out by Land O'Lakes. I know too much about NutriBlend and the operations and all that kind of stuff, and know some people that work there. I don't want to work for that company. Okay. And I was getting that runaround. I said, well, he asked me how much I'd want to make in a year or whatever to give like a ballpark. And I said anywhere from like 75,000 to 80,000, or 90. I mean, I think I said 75 to 90,000. I was like, I can actually go to work for Walmart here locally and be home most every night and have weekends off. But I think your weekends change. It's not like a set schedule with Walmart. I think it's kind of a rolling deal. But I could start off there making 90 to 100,000 with my experience level and everything. And then he's like putting my experience level into question. I was like, dude, it is not possible to hire a more qualified driver than me. Okay? It's not possible. I have a completely clean MVR, no speeding tickets, no accidents. I had one accident, in the last 21 years where a kid sideswiped me. It was his fault. He got a ticket. I didn't. Okay. And, I actually got commended on the way that was handled. That, no one, got seriously injured. It was a pretty bad wreck because this kid sideswiped me. There was nothing I could have done about it. The only thing, that I had in my power was to, help minimize damages, make sure no one got killed or anything. Um, but I mean, you just can't find a better qualified driver than me. Can you find a better driver than me? Yeah, maybe. But as far as qualifications, no. That's called poor management all the way around. The guy just wasn't really on his game today or something. No, Jan. Granny's twerking is messed up. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for that mental image. You can't always go by the phone extension they're calling from anymore. Lots of people move to other states and keep their old cell phone number. You would think he would be calling from a business line doing that sort of job, right? You would think. Which I'm sure it probably was. He was late. He was 1 minute late calling me. So at 2:01, he finally called me. I was like, geez, dude, come on. Come on. Simply Jan said, oh, Paul, I'd rather be twerking than work for them. Yeah. And the other thing is, like, I even told him, I said, there's another company that I've worked for before, the absolute best trucking company, and I've worked for a lot of great companies. I've worked for Schneider National. I've worked for CFI. I've worked for D&D Sexton, which was another pretty good company. CFI, not so much. Schneider was all right. Then I worked for, let's see, Black Cat Trucking. Gator Demolition is all like one company. It was several companies together where I did demolition work. I built stuff. I welded for them. I did mechanic work for them. I drove for them. I hauled heavy equipment, ran heavy equipment, did demolition, all that kind of stuff. Operated cranes and all the cool, fun stuff that every kid dreams of, or every boy dreams of doing, right? That was probably one of my favorite jobs ever because it just never got old. Where was I going with this? I got on a rant there. Maybe if I go back here. No, I can't remember what I was talking about. That's the way of the world today. HR doesn't know about the actual job you're interviewing for. No reality. Yeah. Have you applied at Walmart, David? No. You know why? Because you have to be institutionalized in order to survive in a Walmart setting. There's a lot behind that, and that's a whole nother rant. A company like Walmart, I have worked for Walmart before, but not as a truck driver. I worked for Walmart Tire Lube Express back when I was 18. Worked there for a few years with my buddy. I have a brother that works for Walmart. His father-in-law works for Walmart, pretty high up. Yeah, I just, no. I can't. I cannot. Okay, let's just say the trucking side of Walmart is very, this is how we do it, right? This is how we do it. Yeah, simply Jan said, I get it. To me, it's very institutionalized. I've picked up too many bad habits. Yeah, I don't think that would be a great fit for me. But could I do it? Yeah, I could totally do it. I've been through all that kind of training and everything to where I know how to do that job. But would I be miserable? Mm-hmm. I would be miserable at that job. Dedicated runs, not that great. It's not terrible, but I don't really care too much for dedicated runs. That's one thing. I mean, yeah, FedEx ain't exactly dedicated, depending on what you're doing. If you're pulling doubles for them, you're typically on a dedicated route. If you're a delivery driver for them, it's not exactly dedicated because you probably have certain routes you can go between or whatever. So you end up in maybe a little different area each day, kind of like what I was doing when I was delivering for Amazon. Now, I would love to be delivering for Amazon, but I don't necessarily have a vehicle to do that anymore. Um, I kind of wish I still had the minivan because I would be working right now whenever I felt like it. That was the greatest thing about doing Amazon Flex is I would be delivering over in Oklahoma or Kansas, Missouri, all the way out to like towards Springfield, Missouri. I delivered a wide area, and it was like 4 hour, 3.5, 4 hour increments that we bid on. Um, it was pretty good. It brought in money. I could pay some bills with that. I did it for a while, but then when I got rid of the minivan, that kind of really screwed that up for me. The other thing is, I had taken the app off of my phone, and then I tried to reinstall it, and I cannot get it to reinstall for whatever reason. I don't know why. It downloads it, but it won't let it install on my phone. It's kind of weird. So I kind of messed that thing up. But Amazon Flex was pretty cool, and I imagine that FedEx is probably pretty well the same. You make just as much money, but you drive their equipment. Nope, life is too short to be miserable. Yeah, I'm really kind of focused on trying to get this job at this company that I used to work for. I don't even know why I haven't told y'all. I mean, it don't matter. It's CEI, uh, which is Certified Express Incorporated out of Neosho, Missouri. If you guys are a truck driver and you want the best job in the world, that's the place to go. Really great equipment. I'm pretty sure there's options there if you wanted to do a lease operator type thing, which I don't recommend. But if you were going to do that for a company, that's the best company to do that for. You got uh, Prime Incorporated out of Springfield, Missouri. Whatever you do, do not ever go drive for them. Don't ever drive for Prime, ever. That's one of the worst companies I know of. Have you considered Home Depot? Oh, you mean JB Hunt? If I want to drive for Home Depot, I would be driving for JB Hunt. JB Hunt is who handles Home Depot, like local delivery and everything. I don't want to drive for JB Hunt. I've had them call me and email. They still email me all the time, and I'm just like, nope, I'm not driving for JB Hunt. I promised my dad before he died that I would not ever drive for JB Hunt. My dad used to drive for MNX. MNX stood for Missouri Nebraska Express. It was out of Joplin, Missouri. I think they're called IBX or something like that now, and their terminal's out in Arizona, out there basically where Simple Life Reclaim was from, in that area. Um, but MNX was better known as Monkey Nuts Express. And I would say what CFI was known for, but that's a little. Yeah, this is a family channel. Well, I could say part of it. The C was chicken, and the F was a bad word incorporated. Yes, the F word incorporated. Chicken, bad word incorporated. If we start talking about trucking, I've been around it my whole life. I could talk all kinds of stuff about it. And like what we called companies, or there are some good ones, like Ford, found on roadside dead, or fixed or repaired daily. Like truckers have always done that with company names and everything forever. Swift, I can't remember what it was. I've seen some good ones on Swift, some real good ones. And the crazy thing was, like, you see those memes and stuff on Facebook about, everywhere you go, you see a Swift truck in the ditch. Driving over the road, like literally every day, I was seeing a Swift truck in the ditch at truck stops. They would pull into a truck stop and cut the corner too short, and their trailers in the ditch. It's like, oh, Swift. Oh, Swifty. We used to catch some crap at Schneider, let me tell you. Back when I drove a pumpkin truck, that's what they called them, little pumpkin trucks. Because most everybody that, not most everyone, a lot of drivers that work for Schneider were newbies, brand new, because the government and given the incentive for companies to school truck drivers, bringing new people, fresh meat into the industry, which is kind of what I got caught up into. Um, you know, the bad thing is nowadays that has enticed companies like Swift to bring people in. Like I talked to a Swift driver one time that put his trailer in the ditch out by my mother-in-law's, and I was talking to him, and he was from the inner city, New York City. He never drove a car before. He had his driver's license, but he never owned a car. He took public transportation everywhere he went. And next thing he knows, he has a recruiter talking to him about how much money he can make driving over the road. It's basically, this guy's like, heck yeah, I don't have to pay $1,000 a month for rent because I get to live in a semi truck and I get to go see the United States. That's all he was hearing. And he's like, heck yeah, sign me up. They're going to pay me to go get trained to drive a truck. They put him in training for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, right? This guy's background was not like Farmer Joe. Like me, I grew up on a farm, kind of. I knew how to drive stuff. I've drove ever since the day I turned 16, even before then, right? I was driving a pickup truck, an old 3-speed on the column, out on the farm back when I was like 12, okay? So I had a little bit of background. I knew how to drive, first off. This guy didn't even know how to drive a car, let alone a semi-truck. And 2 weeks later, he's got a CDL. He's not qualified to drive a truck. He wasn't trained very good. And they put him in a truck, and he's by himself. And his words out his mouth was, this is the third time this week. The third time that week that he put his trailer in the ditch because he didn't turn the corner wide enough. I was like, man, they didn't train you right. Because I could tell you one thing. When you look in your passenger mirror on a semi-truck, they've got a little mirror about like that that's down below your West Coast mirror. Your tall mirror is called your West Coast mirror. Your spot mirror that's right below that, you should have it adjusted properly, but when you look in that, as you're coming up to a corner and you can see the curb appear in that mirror, in that spot mirror, that's when you can start turning your wheel, crank it hard to the right. There are things like that, little details like that, that let you know when you can start turning. You don't necessarily have to follow and look in that mirror the whole time and follow your wheels around. It helps if you can do that, but on your passenger side, you simply can't. You got to have an idea what you're doing, and this guy just didn't have an idea. What? Simply Jan, you're picking on Paul. Let's see, Jan. I'm the head lunatic and taking over the asylum. Are you picking on Paul? See, Sharon Delaney said, I used to deliver UPS, same area, every day. Loved it. Yeah, some people like doing the same thing every day. I don't. I like doing a little something different. I mean, yeah, you're in the same kind of area, but you're not always going to the same, like this house, like the Mel lady, right? She's like always, she's got that route, that road, that route that she drives every day. UPS, probably not so much. You're in the same area. You're not doing the same route every day. Haha, monkey nuts. Yeah, MNX was Monkey Nuts Express. That's who my dad drove for. Let's see. Jan said Kevin does a lot of work on Prime's house. It's a mansion. Those guys are lawyers. The owners, not owner, the owners of Prime are lawyers. And they're good. I commend them on doing such a good job on creating such a sucky freaking trucking company. I know too many people who have driven for them or lease purchased a truck through them, and not just like a couple of times, every person I know and have talked to who drove for Prime has been screwed over by them every time. They would, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them would actually get starved out. They would be down to their last few payments on that truck, and they're like, man, I'm going to own this truck. I'm finally going to do it. I'm going to actually own this truck. What does Prime do? They say, hey, you got to bring your truck in for a PM. They come through the operating center there in Springfield. They bring their truck in. It gets in the shop. They're like, you need this done. 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 This big old list of stuff that you got to do to that truck. And you've got like $50,000 in your escrow. And that's the thing with Prime. You don't have power or control over your escrow whatsoever. Prime does. And they're going to take that money. You will never get that money. If you do, man, you must be a lawyer. But every time everyone has said what they did was they would go in, they would start fixing all this stuff or doing this, maintenance. Not even things that had to be fixed. Not these were things that weren't broken, didn't have to be fixed, but they have a set schedule. You got to do all this stuff, and they're like, "Hey, you got to get all this done." So they drain your escrow down, all right, and you're just sitting there going, "Man, that sucks." You don't really see it because you're working so hard, you don't see that happening. The next thing you know, oh, sorry guys, the freight is soft. We don't have a load for you. But this other guy that has a whole nother 2 years, 3 years or whatever, he's got loads out the wazoo. All right. You could be sitting at let's say, Walmart distribution center per se, and you see a Prime truck comes in, brand spanking new truck, right? He pulls in there, drops his trailer, hooks up to another one. And you're walking out there to go say hi to him because you don't have a load. You just got told by the company you don't have a load. You go over there to talk to him. He's like, oh yeah, I got to go grab this other trailer and get out of here. I got to go. Super busy. I've seen that happen time and time again. They're like, dude, don't do it because they will starve you out. I can't say enough bad stuff about Prime. Rhymes with pluckers. Or certified bad word idiots. No, not to be one. I've been called all of them. I worked for CFI several times, so. Back and thunder picking up. Dang. Desiree, I think you're down there in Florida. So you guys got storms going on out there, huh? I haven't seen that one before, Paul. I'm not going to read it. Everyone else, I think, can see it, though. Oh, Don Lee said, Swift is looking for experienced 12-year-olds. I heard they're actually considering dropping the age for over-the-road truck drivers to 18. I mean, I'm not fully against it, but at the same time, there's only a few 18-year-olds out there who I would consider letting have a CDL. But for the most part, I mean, yes, there's 18-year-olds that can definitely drive a semi-truck, but should they be allowed to drive a semi-truck over the road? I mean, shouldn't we say, well, we'll let you drive a semi-truck, but you can only drive a dump truck. You cannot drive a tractor trailer, just a straight truck, and you're only allowed, X amount of weight. I think that the CDL or CDL stands for commercial driver's license, right? I believe that the CDL should be a graduated license, that people should not just be allowed to go out there and drive anything just because they had a certification for it or whatever. An 18-year-old, most of the time, not in every case, but most of the time, an 18-year-old does not have they're not grown up enough to be out over the road, states and states away from home, right? Like at 18, usually they're just, starting to get out in the job market and everything. They should, know a lot about the truck and everything, how it handles and all that stuff. I mean, I started driving a truck at 21, and my first load out, I ended up going over Donner Pass in the winter, in a blizzard. I was going through freaking Montana in a blizzard at 21 years old. At 21, I was still a little bit new to the world. I would consider myself barely old enough at that point. I mean, and granted, some people grow up a little faster and mature a little faster than others. I was still kind of a kid at the time. You should see my license. I may have it in my wallet. Let me look. But I gotta also, if I show you, I gotta cover stuff up. Oh, there it is. I got 2 of my Class A CDL. This is my permit. Let's see. Well, hang on. I gotta cover up like half of this and just show you the picture, because I look like a 14-year-old. Don't laugh at me. This was me in 2000. I got pulled over in the port of entry in New Mexico, right? And the DOT officer swore up and down that I was only 14. She wanted to see my birth certificate and everything. Nobody else out there has got to see that, so you guys in this live should feel very special. That's what I looked like when I first started driving a truck. Prime is the largest trucking company in Missouri. Yeah. Certified Express is the best trucking company in the United States. I cannot say enough good things about Certified Express, and Certified Express is basically the direct sort of competitor, with Prime. If you want to call them competitors, I mean, they work together. But some of the things that Prime has done, I cannot commend them at all, other than just being really good businessmen. Basically, if you want to drive for Prime, you just need to understand that the money that is put back into the escrow, you're pretty much never going to see that. And you pretty much always just need to be switching trucks and upgrading to new trucks, and staying in a new truck. And just understand that you're always going to be making that payment in order to stay in a newer late model truck, to have some of the best equipment. Now, problem is, and what I've learned in trucking, was my 98 Peterbilt, it only broke down a few times, and I was able to fix it on the side of the road with minimal tools. And if I had a 2000 something semi truck, I would have been out of business within the first 6 months, just because of the diesel exhaust fluid, the cost of that, the cost of the maintenance on those systems and everything. I've seen a lot of people go through heck and lose everything they own because they were trying to keep a newer truck. Some guys with the newer Internationals and the Max Force engine, that thing should have never been created. Like, you can literally go out and buy a semi truck with a Max Force engine, like a 2000 some odd semi truck that's really nice looking, looks like it's been well kept, very low mileage, but it's got that Max Force engine, and you could buy it for like 10 grand, probably 10 to 12 grand, I would say. they're completely worthless. They're a money pit. You don't want one. I've had buddies that lost everything they had because of it. You look like Radar O'Reilly. I used to watch MASH, and I know exactly who that is. LOL, it's Gomer Pyle. Gee, thanks. That that hurt. Paul, you don't even know. They used to call me Gomer back in high school. Or, yeah. Do I really look like Gomer Pyle? Nah. You need your eyes checked. Desiree said, I hitchhiked to Florida back in the mid 80s, and a state trooper wanted to see my ID. He thought I was 16-year-old runaway, and I was 23. Yeah, in the picture right there, I was 21. Been carded by many cops, even in my late 20s and early 30s, because they never believed my age when I told them. I mean, I could tell people. I'm starting to look a little older now. I looked at a picture that I think it was on my live or something. I don't know, I seen like a side view of me, and I was like, "Holy crap! I look a lot older now." But a lot of people still wouldn't believe that I'm 44. Still listening, but my eyes are napping. You just can't get enough, can you, Joy? I seen the number of people watching go way down a minute ago when I was bad mouthing Prime. I don't like that company. Sorry. I cannot advise anyone to drive for Prime. But not too far away. What is it? An hour away, I think. 2 hours away from Springfield, Neosho, Missouri. Certified Express, really great company. And they got a new terminal they built right off of the interstate, right there by the Loves. Really nice equipment. One of the best companies I've ever, I can't say one of the best, it is the best company I've ever worked for. I know the owner of the company personally. He's a super awesome dude. Can we talk about something else? I mean, I just wasted my whole day away. I didn't really waste it, but I feel like I wasted it because of the phone call I had to make. I could have just done a live all day long and been, more successful, I think. Has anyone else on here used Indeed to try to get a job? Desiree said, yeah, now that I'm 58. You're 58 now? I thought you were younger than me. Elizabeth Rojas, you've used Indeed? Is it just me, or is it freaking confusing? Desiree says she's used Indeed. Well, look, this is my first time ever using Indeed. I never thought I would have to enter in all my resume and everything into a system or whatever and try to get jobs that way. I mean, it's kind of cool that I get job offers from people instead of me having to go around and look for jobs or spend all of my time on there. Now employers can actually search for me. That's kind of the cool aspect to it. I mean, the guy that called me today, I didn't even solicit, getting a job there or anything. They actually, emailed me. So that was kind of cool. No, I said yes to my age. Oh, okay. You said yes to your age. Paul said, LOL, Des, I just realized I'm actually younger than you. See, I seen her picture and I thought I was older. But I'm actually younger? I guess that says a lot for your picture. Debbie Schreeman said, I am retired and never did an online job app. You ain't missing much. I actually had to have my wife put in my application or my resume, like type it in for me, because my eyes get super tired of like sitting there and trying to type. And my problem was I would enter in all the information, and then something on there would always be like automatically, like it would go to, it's usually the state. It would be not filled in, even after I had selected Missouri as the state. And then, of course, it wants all information like I don't have on my resume is like phone numbers of companies I've worked for. Because let's just face it, all right, I'm 44 years old now. A lot of the companies that I've worked for don't even exist anymore. You can't even call them. I mean, there's a few of them you can. But the crazy thing is, like, in order to get a job driving a semi truck, you actually have to put in, I think it's 10 years, 10 or 12 years, something like that, of employment history. And you have to account for any gaps in employment. So that's a huge pain in the butt. And then if they call said employer and they have went in and purposefully changed the dates as to when you work there, that messes you up. And I actually, one employer that I work for has done that because I worked for him for many years. I worked for his paint company. I worked for his trucking company. I worked for his rail spur company. I worked for all of them, but I worked at the same place for many years, and he likes to go in and change those dates and just put in whatever he wants. My asthma's kicking my butt. So. Don Lee said maybe it's an old pic. I was trying to give her a compliment. Jeez, Don Lee. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should like take that picture right there and put it as my thumbnail. What do they call that? Catfish? Like catfish filter or whatever? I just learned that. Like, how old am I, you know? Man, I don't even know the up and up. I'm not up and up on the whatever. My daughter said something about it. She said something one day. It said it's catfish or something. I was like, what? And she had to explain it to me. It made me feel really old and stupid. Desiree said, my mind is young, my body is 105, but my age is 58. I do not post old pictures, Dawn. Nope, you post the ancient ones. Dang, Paul. Debbie Sherman said, older than you, Desiree Sempier. If you did, I was a lot cuter and skinny before I became disabled. Elizabeth said, yeah, you got to gather all the info first, but once it's in there, it's in there. That's the cool thing about it. The Indeed thing is like, surely it'll just be in there. Because that's one of the biggest problems I've had is trying to remember all the different places I've worked for. I mean, I could show you at a distance here. Can you guys read that? Okay, there's some of the places I've worked for. And she's got this out of order. Okay, there's two more. There's some more. There's some more. There's some more. A lot of those, like, you know, trucking places, some of them welding places. But some of the welding places I worked for, I actually had to have a CDL too. So, you know, when I say I, you know, drove for 21 years with CDL. Basically, I've had my CDL for 21 years. Did I spend, every day driving at some of those jobs? No. Some of them I was a crew leader, doing welding and stuff at the same time. Don, well, if you were my Facebook friend, you would see the real picture. Yeah, I see her on Facebook. Yeah, you don't see, she's got a snowflake on there right now. But I've seen her picture like on Facebook. If you look up your social security account online, it will give you the years you worked, but not for who. It kind of helps if you can't remember. Yeah, that wouldn't help me because you have to have the dates, the month and the year when you started, and the month and the year when you quit. I think Social Security can kind of help with that, but it's not. All right, so when you get a job at a trucking company as a driver, in order to keep terrorists from working for trucking companies, they have to keep track of like when you work for who you work for and all this stuff, right? Yeah, I can't even remember what they called that. It was some act deal they did. Basically, you got to account for like all this stuff. Like right now, I'm self-employed, right? I have to show that I'm self-employed, that I'm not just, because I'm not collecting unemployment or anything. So technically, I'm self-employed. And I have to show that. I mean, they literally might call me and say, "Hey, did David Hood work for you from this date to this date?" I'll just be like, "Yeah, duh. You're talking to me, stupid." But they have to do it. You guys, your picture's a snowflake. She said, "I keep it because of the Crockers, Dawn." My let's see. Hello, my last resume stated I was untrained because I lost my LGV license when I had my heart attack in 2011. Copies of taxes. Well, that's not good. The taxes ain't going to show the dates of when I worked for who. Dave, have you thought of maybe something other than truck driving, maybe shipping and receiving, um, working inside a hardware store? You see, the thing is, like, me being indoors, like in an office or something with no windows, that doesn't work very long for me. I've worked at a machine shop before. I thought I was dying inside because I couldn't see the light of day. The other problem with that was in the machine shop I worked in, there was a real fine mist of oil in the air, and I was breathing that all the time. People like working there, luckily I lost that job when I was 18 and never went back. Other people that's worked there for many, many years, have died from lung cancer and things like that. So, I mean, it's probably a good thing that I didn't work there very long. I worked there long enough to learn a lot of cool stuff. But have I thought of, like doing like dock work? Yeah. A company that I applied for, that's actually part of it, part of that job. It is you go around as a yard jockey, driving what they call a yard dog truck that has a hydraulic fifth wheel. I've drove one many times before. I know exactly how they work and everything, so I'm experienced with it. But also another part of that is forklift operator, and I've had my forklift operator license many, many times at different companies, so I could totally do that. Let's see, the next job I had after shop, I actually worked at the Carthage Underground up here in Carthage, Missouri, as a forklift driver. Problem was, I don't know what they pay now, but back then I made $12.50 an hour. That was back in '99, I think, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem working for a company doing stuff like that. I just don't want to work in like a factory or warehouse type thing where I'm inside all day long. That just, yeah, that would suck. I want a local job. Um, the one at CEI that I applied for, um, I probably should just call him and say, "Hey, I want this job," and he might say, "Bring it." Oh, Mama V goes live at 5, don't she? In 7 minutes. All right, I'm gonna have to get off here then, because I'll want to go over there and check that out, listen in at least. I might troll her with another account. You guys be on the lookout for trolling accounts over on Mama V's. See if you can spot me. How about that? We'll make it a game. Be like, is that Hood's custom shop? I'll have to see if I have an account that like you guys won't be able to guess. One I haven't like told you uh, that I have. I mean, most of them I probably did tell you all of them. But yeah, still got 25 people in here. Dadgum, I've been on here for 2 hours and 36 minutes. But guys, hope I will see you over at Mama V's live. She's going live, so I'm gonna get off here. Make sure you go check her channel out, and I'm gonna troll her a little bit. See if I can make it funny and interesting. So go see if you can figure out who I am over there. All right. See you guys on the next one. Bye.